Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight.
Former Cabinet Minister Dorsett was back in court today for his bribery and extortion case.
Well, it's another major drug bust for police officers today.
Panelists assess the first 100 days of the minister's administration.
Our news is brought to you by Alive, the nation's newest and best LTE network.
Good to be alive.
Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. I'm Kyle Joaquin. Topping news tonight, former cabinet minister in the Christie administration, Dorsett, will have to answer to bribery and extortion charges in the Supreme Court. Dorsett appeared in the magistrate court this morning where he was served with a voluntary bill of indictment and notice of alibi. Jasmine Brown was in court and has the details in this report.
In court today, Dorsett learned that his case will be headed to the Supreme Court this month and that his alibi will have to be provided to the AG's office in a matter of weeks. He appeared in court with his attorneys Wayne Monroe QC and Damian Gomez QC, as well as his wife and several family members. Dressed in a white button-up shirt, blue blazer, and black pants, the former Environment and Housing Minister was all smiles as he entered the courthouse. Dorsett appeared in court number 1 before Magistrate Samuel McKinney, where he was served with a notice of alibi, informing him that his legal team has 21 days to provide the AG's office with an alibi. Monroe addressed the court, insisting it would be impossible to provide an alibi with the charges alleging a crime occurred during a 70-day period. Outside court, he explained his argument.
Well, the offense is said to happen between the 1st of March and the 9th of May. So that's 70 days. So they don't say which day it happened, day or days. So you don't know which day. You have to say you are not where this guy said the offense happened.
Inside court, McKinney made a note of Monroe's request for more specific dates. Dorsett was arraigned in July on 1 count of misconduct in public office and 4 counts each of extortion and bribery, totaling $120,000. It is alleged he committed the crimes between March 1st and May 9th. Dorsett also learned today that he will have to answer to charges in the Supreme Court. On September 15th, he will be appearing before Supreme Court Justice Bernard Turner. Gomez says on that day his client is expected to get a status update on his case.
On the 15th, the Supreme Court Justice Turner, will give directions for the further conduct of the proceedings. A trial date is likely to be given, and any other directions that he sees fit.
Meantime, Dorsett remains free on $50,000 bail. Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Well, weeks after a multi-million-dollar drug bust in Andros, police today making another multi-million-dollar fine, this time in Bimini. April Sands tells us more.
157 kilos of cocaine, street valued at $2.3 million. Just another big drug bust for police, this time off the shores of Bimini. An early morning investigation conducted by Grand Bahama Drug Enforcement Unit officers and by officers of the Bimini Division led to the discovery of 157 kilos of cocaine. Officers reported that acting on information, they seized the drugs off a 21-foot open craft contender this morning in Alistown, Bimini, around 7 a.m. today. On that boat, they found several coolers and knapsacks stuffed to the brim with cocaine.
They were able to intercept that vessel. The vessel was taken to the docking area in Alistown. A search was conducted at that vessel where a number of kilo packages of suspected cocaine were discovered in coolers and in knapsacks. The drugs were on the suspects were taken to the Alistown police station where further inquiries were conducted. We have some 157 kilos of cocaine in our custody that has a street value of about $2.3 million.
Police now say they have 2 male suspects, ages 31 and 39, in custody. Butler said he's hoping the men will be placed before the court in short order.
The Drug Enforcement Unit and indeed the Royal Bahamas Police Force is well equipped and well ready for such events in terms of drug interdiction. We are really happy that we have great collaboration with the detective units, the uniform branches of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. We're working certainly assiduously and closely together to bring these major drug interdiction into play. We'll continue to work together. We are well fueled by intelligence collection, and certainly without our community, and we are always grateful for individuals in the community who are observing things that appear to be out of the ordinary.
Today's major bust comes just 3 weeks after police arrested 3 men in an Andros raid, where officers seized $3.2 million of marijuana. Police say they're using all their efforts to keep those who continue to participate in smuggling illegal drugs into the country off of the streets and behind bars.
We want to say loud and clear to those persons. We ask that you find yourself in a more legal, viable enterprise, because if you continue to involve yourself with the illegal enterprise of drug trafficking, the Drug Enforcement Unit, the Royal Bahamas Police Force certainly will ban every effort to come after you, and we will spare no effort in taking you before the courts.
Reporting for our news, I'm April Sands.
In other news, a heated conversation erupted on Thursday night's episode of On the Record as panelists, a key political leader among them, assessed the first 100 days of the Minutes administration and rated the performance of notable cabinet ministers. Giorgio Bain reports.
They kill you, they kill your family member, they go up there for 2 years on waiting trial, and after that you gotta let them out, and then vigilante kicks in. But we don't need to run a country like that. I agree with Brian. Hangings on the books. The hell with what the Privy Council has to say, because they don't live in the Bahamas, they don't know what they're going through. Do what you got to do. The minute you start to pop some necks around this place, you see a big change. At least that's one gone, who ain't gonna kill 3 or 4, because some fellas will tell you better to sleep 5. They be bragging.
Those comments from Bahamas Public Service Union President John Pinder ignited a heated conversation on Jerome Sawyer's On the Record last night. The panel consisted of John Pinder and Democratic National Alliance leader Granville McCartney, who have both lost close family members to acts of violence here in the country. The pair dissected the issue of crime and questioned the crime-fighting strategy put forth by the current administration. Host of radio talk show The Conversation on Guardian Radio, Shanique Miller, was adamant that with so much high hopes placed on the Minister of National Security, his honeymoon phase is running out.
I'll tell you where the honeymoon period has run out: on Marvin Dames. Because of all the things you just said. A highly decorated police officer, the second in command, a policeman's policeman. And the fact is, people are saying, okay, we know what you are good for, Dames. You're in the chair now. Do something. People are also very turned off with the fact that what's going on with the police force? Who is the commissioner and who isn't?
Well, that was one of my questions. Where is the commissioner, or who is the commissioner?
Where in the world is the commissioner? You know, where in the world is Matt Lauer? Where in the world is Ellison Greenslade? And so the thing about it is, Marvin Dames, people are getting very, very tired of seeing Marvin Dames talking. They feel as though, dude, you are the lawmaker here. What's going on?
McCartney then drove the point home that change cannot be expected in the country until the laws of capital punishment are enacted and the Privy Council dealt with.
The Privy Council having the last say, yes, they do. We just need to change our laws so that they must comply with our laws. There are other places around the world where the Privy Council is the final court of appeal, where they do have capital punishment and they have to carry it out. We know that the Privy Council is not interested in carrying out capital punishment. It is our law, though.
They live in London, they live in the Bahamas.
That's right, and they don't know what's going on here.
Reporting for our news, I'm Giorgio Bain.
With a devastating depiction of the country's sexual assault cases making news globally, the Royal Bahamas Police Force teamed up with an international organization for a one-day seminar in hope to bring awareness and in an effort to fight against one of the country's biggest acts of crime. April Sands reports.
Well, the Royal Bahamas Police Force and the international organization known as WIND has put forth their first efforts into standing against gender violence. Abbreviated as WIND, the Women's Initiative for Nonviolence and Development conducted an early morning seminar for police officers today. It's an effort to improve the capacity of law enforcement, the justice sector, and to prevent gender-based violence in the country.
Well, the whole issue of the training is geared to incidents of violence, whether it's same-sex or whether it's affecting the family, we will respond to all incidents. Once a matter is reported to the police, we have a responsibility and obligation under the law to respond to it.
Just a month ago, Donna Nichols of the Crisis Center revealed that incest and date rape are the top 2 biggest sexual assault cases in the country. Globally, it's recorded that 1 in 3 women will experience domestic violence, according to the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. It's also noted that in the Caribbean, there is an even higher rate of sexual violence than the global average. Assistant Commissioner of Police Davis Delancey says it's not about the statistics of domestic violence in the country, but it's about tackling the issue at this point.
It is my hope that at the end of these training exercises, we'll be more sensitized to the issues, we will respond more efficiently and effectively to the victims, and we will respond in kind as our mandate in law.
WIND was implemented by the nonprofit organization PAN, American Development Foundation, with funding from the United States Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement. The Pan American Development Foundation will also be hosting several conferences and workshops surrounding International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women on different family islands and in New Providence. Reporting for Our News, I'm April Sands.
Still to come with Our News, Island Luck seeks to promote responsible gaming, plus the DNA leader slams the environment minister's silence. That's coming up when Our News returns.